Chris Broussard, this finals has surprised me, but it looks like Phoenix looks fatigued and small. And Chris Broussard, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing, joining us now. You know, it's funny, Chris, for a long time, the NBA, sometimes medium-sized markets and smaller markets feel like you got to have a glamorous city. You got to be Miami and the Lakers, and that's where stars play. And then you got the Milwaukee thing where they were patient. They developed him. They added reasonable pieces anybody could get. Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis. These aren't glamour players. And then I watch them and I look at the East and I say to myself, is this the next dynasty? Homegrown, humble. By the way, I like all the Heatles. I like all the Lakers. I like the egos. I like all the wandering. I like all the mobility. You start looking at the East, Chris. You start looking around this league. If they win that tomorrow night, it doesn't necessarily feel like a one and done, does it?
No, it certainly doesn't. Now, they wouldn't be guaranteed to win the East. It wouldn't be like the Bulls with Michael Jordan or the three-peat Lakers or even the Heatles, as you mentioned, who we knew were clearly the best team in the East year after year. Because Brooklyn, the only question with Brooklyn is, will they be healthy? Right. And then Kyrie, where will his mind be at? That's it. I think most people, you put the two teams side by side, are going to pick Brooklyn. So there's that. We'll see what happens in Philadelphia. But I think Brooklyn and Milwaukee will be the two teams in the East fighting it out. Here's what I do like about the Bucks and why they do have a chance to continue to win going forward. Giannis, in my view, Colin, is improving before our very eyes. All right, we're no longer, think about it, we're not focused anymore on he can't shoot. He's missing all these threes. He's missing all these mid-range jump shots because he's playing inside more. He's not posting up, but he is doing his damage in the paint more than ever. And when he's on the perimeter, he's making the right decisions. Like he is making some great passes to his teammates, whether it's for layups underneath the basket or three-pointers in the corner or whatever it may be. And I think Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, he's kind of leaving the perimeter scoring to them. So if Giannis continues to play this way and then over time continues to improve his jump shot, they can be very tough, in the future. So there's a chance there that they could continue to win championships if they win this one.
It's really interesting. When Michael Jordan dominated the league, there were just physically things Michael could do. There were shots he made that are still iconic. When LeBron dominated the league, when Shaq dominated the league, again, there was a physical dimension nobody else could do. You remember LeBron's first 6 or 7 years in the league. He was chasing guys down and guards and blocking shots. In the last two games, Giannis has made plays, Chris, I'm not sure another player in the league could do. That block of DeAndre Ayton, I can't think of it. I don't think Embiid is that quick. And I also think that alley-oop where Giannis is running down and beating guards down the floor is that when you look at Giannis's physical development, Nick Wright said it. He said, free throws are kind of overrated with the Duncans and the Shaqs and LeBrons. When you can physically do stuff others can't, is Giannis the face of the league if he wins this title?
Well, Colin, he is certainly helping himself in these press conferences, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, what he's saying is great. I mean, you can't help but like the guy, and then he's got the mental toughness that I think people are drawn to. I mean, the fact that he'll go to the free throw line and shoot an air ball or two. And then the next play, he's driving again, trying to get to the foul line.
I know.
People react to that. The fact that, a year ago or even entering these playoffs, we were down on him. Oh, he can't get it done in the playoffs. He's overcome that. So there's a human element that you just love about Giannis. And obviously, the nickname The Freak is appropriate because we have not seen anything like this. He's a 7-footer who doesn't post up like Shaq, but can't shoot like Kevin Durant or Dirk Nowitzki. So what is he? He's just an incredible athlete who can pass the ball, who can handle the ball, and he does all these things around the rim that are incredible. I believe this, Colin. As great as Giannis is, he's probably only 75% of what he could be.
Yeah.
Because when I put his work ethic and mental toughness together, I say, like, what if he becomes just an adequate mid-range shooter? And I don't necessarily want him like he used to be where he's handling the ball up the top of the key and bringing the ball up. But what if when he gets it on the wing 18 feet out, he's going to hit it most of the time?
Yeah.
And he can shoot the three adequately. Like, he would be unguardable. So I said years ago, and it felt, I said years ago, there's a few guys that you can see and you would say they could be in the GOAT conversation. Not that they will be the GOAT or whatever, but you can see the potential there.
Yeah.
There's the potential. I'm not saying he'll ever be that, but the potential is there for him to be in the conversation if he can keep winning.
You know, it's really fun.
Improving.
You know, it's when I watch him play, it's interesting, Chris. I think I talked about this last week. There's a little bit of footage of Lou Alcindor at UCLA as a freshman. And if you go back to Lou Alcindor in high school in New York or UCLA early, he ran the floor very well. People may have forgotten Sam Bowie at 7'4" actually ran the floor pretty darn well. And there's part of Giannis's game where, and I'm not saying he's going to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm not saying that. But there is a physical component to Kareem. He had the most unstoppable shot in league history, and he was all NBA defense, must have been 12, 13 times. Ironically, started his career in Milwaukee. And there is, when I watch him running the break and when I watch him down low, I mean, I remember as a kid, Kareem was just, there was no anecdote. There really wasn't. If Kareem was on a roll, he got you 36. And I think, and I may be crazy, we always compared LeBron to Michael, even though Michael was more Kobe and LeBron was more Magic.
Right.
If I said to you, give me three players who were Giannis, the first one that pops into my head is a young Lou Alcindor, a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If I said three guys with Giannis, who is he? Who do you see?
Well, let me say this. There were guys, Wilt Chamberlain was a track star.
Yeah.
He could run the floor.
Yeah.
Shaq, you remember early in Shaq's career,
Yes.
he'd do it kind of jokingly, but he could do it. Dribble the ball up court against the break, make a nice pass. But back then, it wasn't, big men automatically played inside. Remember Ralph Sampson?
Yeah.
Who wanted to shoot jumpers from the elbow, and everybody said, oh, he's soft. Look at him. Get inside and bang, big fella. And so
Yes.
Kareem told me a couple years ago, if he were playing today and coming up as a player, he said he would play like Giannis. And I believe he would because, as you said, Kareem had that athleticism.
Oh, yeah.
He had those skills. There's video footage. Remember, he played Dr. J one-on-one. And Kareem he beat Dr. J pretty badly because he actually had athleticism and skills to go with his length. So I actually think that is a fair comparison. Kareem just, at that time, you weren't afforded the opportunity as a big to play on the perimeter and do all of those things. But I think it's a very appropriate comparison. And Giannis is kind of like the next, version of Kareem. Look, Kareem won 6. And Giannis has to keep winning. But here's the interesting thing, Colin. And this is, a lot of people criticizing Giannis, right? And saying, Chris Middleton's really the Batman. And Giannis doesn't close. Well, Kareem really wasn't the closer. I know you could always go to him for that sky hook.
Right.
And they did it in 1988 when they beat Detroit, right? But Kareem needed a guard to get him the ball. He needed Oscar or he needed Magic. That's when he won his championships. So Giannis is not that different in that he does need another guy.
Yeah.
When you're a 7-footer and you don't shoot it that well, you're going to need somebody else. Shaq needed Wade or Kobe. You're going to need somebody else. So Giannis is not unique in that, he needs a great perimeter player to play along with him.
Great stuff. Chris Broussard, Fox Sports NBA analyst. Nice job. You ever notice Chris is the best-dressed guy on our network? It doesn't even matter. During season, off season, he's $1 million. Somebody get his tailor. Good seeing you, buddy.
Wow. Thank you, my man. Thank you.